Namaskar. Welcome to this session. We are continuing to discuss Shaucha, the first of the Niyamas, and therein I would like to draw your attention to a facet of Shoucham which Garuda Purana mentions. Garuda Purana mentions that there are multiple kinds of Shaucha, like Shaarira Shaucha, Manasa Shaucha, Artha Shaucha. The Shoucham has to be practiced in so many fronts in life, and so this is one more clue to understand that it is not justly cleanliness and hygiene. We need to have Shaucham in various dimensions of life. And Garuda Purana says, amongst all those Shaucha, various kinds of Shaucha, Aahaara Shaucham scores over all of them. And here one needs to have little insight into the concept of ahara. Ahara literally means food. And by Aahaara Shaucha one just thinks of clean food habits and eating clean food. And this food means the food that is served on your dining table. But ahara has greater meaning, depth of meaning, extent of meaning in adhyatma. The ahara includes so many things, like the quadrate of ahar, vihar, achar, vichar. That ahara is not only the food that goes to alimentary system, digestive system and the belly, but every kind of food. There is food for intelligence, there is food of senses, there is food for mind, food for intelligence, food for emotions. So many kinds of foods are actually nourishing mankind. As a matter of fact, biological creature thrives on so many kinds of nourishments, and not just nourishment that you hear about in dietetics. We need nourishments in so many realms in life, and more particularly to mankind, it further becomes more and more complicated and extensive. So ahara means every kind of ahara. What you eat through your senses for psychosensory mind, what you eat for your intelligence, what you eat for your mind, what you eat for your emotions. So the ahara is a wider concept in adhyatma. And therefore Garuda Purana, in light of that, it says Aahaara Shaucham stands out. Every kind of food is to be considered in this Shaucham. And not only the food that is cooked or prepared by procuring materials from a grocer's shop or food vendors, fruit vendors, vegetable vendors, etc., etc. So basically, student of Adhyatma has to understand the concept of ahara, all kinds of intakes. Then of course, Annam, in the sense food, scores importance in that concept of Aahaara Shuddhi as well. Because as Adhyatma postulates, Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhi. So what we really eat through our ingestive system and digestive system, which goes to digestive system, that food also is uniquely analyzed in Adhyatma. I am referring to Chandogya Upanishad particularly here. It says that the food that we eat, that food from the gross aspects of the processed food in our belly, because the food is not only processed before we cook, but the food is processed after we eat within our body. And the gross aspect of food turns out faecal matter. However delicious food you might eat, however food with bewitching aroma that you might eat, bewitching taste that you may eat, or a beautiful sight you might eat, the gross the aspects of the food is turned out by way of faecal matter, which is in every sense dirty, obnoxious. There is nothing to appreciate in faecal matter. There is a lot to appreciate in food that we eat, but there is nothing to appreciate in the faecal matter that is turned out by the food that we eat. So the gross part of the food becomes faecal matter, the middle part of the food becomes body matter. Skin, flesh, muscles, bones, tissues, cells. The entire body matter is made up of middle aspect of food. So our food is actually producing our skin, producing our flesh, producing our muscles and bones, and all these matters are renewable matters in our embodiment. They are renewed time to time. So we are all aware of the fact that the skin is totally renewed after some days, after some weeks. It's a completely new skin. So our body matter is of the nature of what we call as renewable matter. Every matter of the body is renewed, and it is renewed by food that we eat. So middle aspect of the food becomes your body matter. And the subtle aspect of the food becomes your mind. And in Adhyatmic dietetics, the food is considered that way, unlike in modern dietetics as a branch of paramedicals or health sciences, which is also in health sciences. It just considers the food for body matter, that this is good for skin, this is good for flesh, this is good for muscles, this is good for bones. So this cellular body is only considered in food. So look at the plans given by dietitians and by dietetics. They only consider the body, and how some food is not good for your body and how some food is good for your body, as if we are merely body. It doesn't speak about the food and mind. But Adhyatma tells us that the mind is turned out of food. Aahaara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhi Annamayi Saumya Manaha. This is what Chandogya Upanishad tells us. Annamayahi Saumya Manaha. Hey Saumya, the mind is Annamaya. It is turned out from food. So should we not bother about what to eat and what not to eat and how to eat and when to eat and when not to eat and how not to eat, etc., if it is also considering the mind or it is also producing the mind? But the modern dietetics doesn't consider that. And therefore it becomes more important to be more meticulous and particular about the food that we eat through our ingestive system while being at a dining table. And that Aahara Shuddhi is so important, because if that food is not taken care of as Adhyatma suggests, then Garuda Purana says that the dirt turned out by that food cannot be cleaned by mrujjaladi aspects. The way you clean your body in your bathroom, in your washroom, you cannot be cleaning all that the food turns out in you. You can't take out your mind and wash it with a soap and shampoo. You can wash your body with a soap and shampoo. You cannot take out the mind and then wash it and keep it back in your brain. So it is not cleansed by mrujjaladi factors, which are the things that you use in your washroom and bathrooms. Great pains are taken to really clean that which the food has turned out in the realm of the mind. A lot of austerities, a lot of tapasya has to be done to clean the mind, because once the mind gets the dirt, it is very difficult to clean the mind. There is no washerman available to wash your mind. And you can understand, you can imagine how difficult it is to wash the mind. You have to undertake penance. You have to undertake austerities. You have to embrace discipline. You need to be very rigorous in discipline. And it is not easy way to purify that aspect in our embodiment, which is impurified by the food that we have eaten or that we eat. And that's why Garuda Purana says that you cannot be washing that dirt by dry cleaning or by laundering or by washerman course or washerman's measures. You cannot clean it. It is very difficult to clean the mind, which is turned out by the food. And then it speaks about Shaucha in various forms, such as Satya Shaucha, Manasa Shaucha. This is so difficult that it cannot be easily washed. It is easy to take a wash and bath and clean the body, but it is very difficult to wash these aspects. The Chitta Shuddhi, Manasa Shuddhi, Buddhi Shuddhi, Ahankar Shuddhi, Bhavana Shuddhi, Manasa Shuddhi, etc. is very difficult task to really take it up. And for that purpose you need Indriya Nigraha. For certain dirts in your mind, you need to practice austerities. For certain dirts in your mind, you have to practice yoga. You have to practice Indriya Nigraha, the restraint of senses, and Sarva Bhuta Prati Daya. Now, this is the kind of Shaucham which Garuda Purana speaks about. That pure mind will have Sarva Bhuta Prati Daya. Sarva Bhuta Prati Daya Maya Prem Maitri Bhav. So that friendliness with regards to all beings, not only human beings, all beings, Sarva Bhuta Prati, all beings, Daya, Maya, Prem, Maitri, that is a facet of Shaucha, which Garuda Purana has spoken about. And it is worth taking note of, particularly for students of yoga. So, I wanted to tell you about what Garuda Purana speaks about, that unique perspective dimension of Shaucham. Manusmriti also has something to say that way. It says that Artha Shaucha stands out amongst all other Shaucha. So, Garuda Purana spoke about Artha Shaucha, and then with the reference to Chandogya Upanishad precepts, Ahara Shuddho Sattva Shuddhi. And then I told you Ahara means ahara of your all the senses. All the gates, the 9 gates must be clean and pure, and their intakes must be clean and pure. So that is what Garuda Purana told us. Now Manusmriti is going to tell us about Artha Shuddhi. This is again a fabulous facet of Shoucham. Artha Shaucha takes Visheshartha, is what Manusmriti tells us. So it says the Artharjanam, that is earning the money. Earning money should be by Dharmya Marga. See, otherwise all foods we will procure by money. Food for mind, you go and buy by money. Food for body, you go and buy money. So we can buy by money so many kinds of foods. You can buy emotional gratification, mental gratification, intellectual gratification. You will spend money and get those gratifications, sensory gratification, belly gratification. So with the help of money, we are able to procure and get and consume all those foods which are required for us. But that money itself needs to be Shaucha Purna, Shuchi Purna, Shuchir Bhuta, and that is only possible when the money is earned by righteous means and dharmya means. So by virtue and virtuosity, the money must be earned. Otherwise, money can be earned in unscrupulous means as well, and we know that in our times very well, and perhaps this was the case all times. But today it has become more rampant. The money can be earned by unscrupulous means, corruption, etc. So it should not be earned by corrupt processes or corruption. And the corruption in the realm of dharma is something different to be considered. Earning money by legitimate means is only virtue today. If somebody has earned money by legitimate means, it doesn't mean it is dharmya. Because what is legitimate act doesn't necessarily mean that it is dharma. Dharma is something much more than that. So Manusmriti says Artha Shuchi is so important that Artha must be earned through righteous means, and the dharma marga. So it should be earned by dharma karma and niswartha karma. There should not be slightest selfishness in our economic activity. There should be no ulterior motives behind earning money. There should not be a selfish motive behind earning money. And niswarthata, nirhetukata. These are wonderful predicates which Manusmriti uses. Artha Shuddhi therefore must be taken care of. Now what is the point in eating rich food, pure food? Today we get all that pure food which we call as packed food. It is wonderfully packed. And then it is, certified by the food authorities in government. But what is the point in buying such food which by its nutrient value is immaculate, faultless. But if it is procured by money earned by foul means, that will taint your food. that will taint your food. If the money through which it is procured, that itself is a corrupt means, then the food is also going to get tainted, however immaculate it might be, and certified to be immaculate by food authorities of the country. So, Artha Shuddhi is also important, not just Anna Shuddhi. It's no point in just saying that I always eat pure food. It is important to consider the means through which the food has been procured, the money through which it has been procured, economic activity through which you have earned the money and then procured the food. That is also important consideration in Adhyatma. So, that act should not be economic activity. It should be kartavya karma, dharmya karma, through which monies are earned and the foods are procured. The point is, Artha Shuddhi is another factor on which we have to elaborate. And with regards to Artha Shuddhi, Aahaara Shuddhi, we just now saw that Manu says that there should be Artha Shuddhi for it. Now let me draw your attention to Srimad Ramanujacharya, who goes further beyond, and even the Adhyatma, which is ageless tradition, also tells us. When it comes to Aahaara Shuddhi, we know that the food should be clean and the food should not be substandard. It should be selected quality, and then money which procures it must be also dharmya karma, kartavya karma, niswartha nirhetuka karma. Then further, the food that is cooked must be cooked by pure mind. Because today we are in the time where usually people appoint a chef or a cook, and the cook cooks the food. But here we should understand we have a concept called Swayam Paka. Swayam Paka means you should cook your own food, or your food should be cooked by someone who considers you as theirs and you consider them as yours, such as mother. If your mother is cooking the food, then that factor is taken care of. If someone who is very dear one to you, like your wife, then that aspect is taken care of. So, who cooks the food and how the food is cooked, in the sense, the mind of the cook, person who is cooking, the mind of that person, that mind must be good, otherwise the mind is also falling as a masala in your food, and if that mind is not good, the taste may not be spoiled, but the effect of the food is definitely spoiled. So that is also aspect of Aahaara Shuddhi. Therefore, Swayam Paka is the concept that we have in our tradition. Now, if you cannot be cooking your food, then someone who thinks that you are theirs and you think they are yours, they should only cook the food. Those who love you and those whom you love should cook your food. Those who love your salary should not cook your food. So there should be a genuine love between one who cooks the food and one who eats the food. Then, further, how you eat the food. when do you eat the food, in what state of mind you eat the food. Just as the one who is cooking the food should have pure mind, rather than vexed and tormented mind and mind full of malais, negative mind. Now that will spoil your food effectively. And you will not identify that the food is spoiled. It's only after eaten, the food will not work as it should. It was expected to work. So that should be by a pure mind. The cooking should be done with a pure mind, clean mind, loving mind. So also when the food is eaten, it should not be eaten in a state of mind which is untoward, highly tensed and worried, or being angry, or being vexed and tormented. In such a state of mind, it is not proper to eat the food. So in what state of mind the food should be eaten is also aspect of Aahaara Shuddhi. How the mind of the person who is cooking the food is also important facet of Aahaara Shuddhi. When the food is eaten, how the food is eaten, etc. is also important factor. Culture behind eating the food is also important. As the other day I told you that food is taken as prasada after naivedyam, and then it is taken as prasada, or it is taken as offering into Vaishvanaragni, so that magnanimous mind, noble mind should be there behind eating food, rather than craze behind eating that. If you are bewitched by the food item, then you are crazy to eat the food. Now that is not healthy state of mind. So your state of mind while you take food is also aspect in Aahaara Shuddhi. So this is what the wisdom tells us about Aahaara Shuddhi. Then, okay, let it be as it may. We have spoken sufficiently about, and there is much to speak about Aahaara Shuddhi, all various dimensions of Aahaara Shuddhi, which you get in Adhyatmic Parampara. Now, let's come to complete concept of Shaucham and not just Aahaara Shaucham. So you should know that there should be Aahaara Shuddhi, Vihara Shuddhi, Achara Shuddhi, Vichara Shuddhi. So one should ponder over these aspects, because that is the coordinate, Ahar, Vihar, Achar, Vichar. And therefore we must investigate into those with the dimension of Shaucham, Aahaara Shuddhi, Vihara Shuddhi, Achara Shuddhi and Vichara Shuddhi. So see how much the Shaucha is circumscribing. And it becomes more important, this what I am telling you becomes more important with reference to what Patanjali is mentioning here. He is mentioning Ashtanga Yoga Anushtanam. So in the form of Anushtanam, how we will have to be reading, considering Shaucham of a very aspect, Bahya Shaucha, Abhyantara Shaucha, etc. And the allied aspect of Shaucham which we have been considering now. It is not just health point of view that Shaucham is being mentioned, because then it gets rendered as cleanliness in English, cleanliness and hygiene in English, which is absolutely unjustifiable. So in Paramartha, Shaucha Palanam becomes a unique concept. And many times it would appear that to be in such kind of Shaucha is impracticable, that it cannot be practical to be practicing Shaucham. And we think that therefore what Adhyatma tells us about Shaucham is quite utopian idea. That will happen to we who are sunk in materialism. But we have to objectively look at. We are not consider how far it is practical and how far it is impracticable, etc. We have to understand the concept objectively. And as we evolve in our consciousness and conscience, we will be slowly adhering to those things quite practicably. So point is, do not just dub it as impracticable what is mentioned by Adhyatma Parampara, Adhyatma Shastra. So this is what we have to understand in the light of Sutra here. Ashtanga Yoga and Niyamanga Anushtanam, and then Shaucham coming in there. Now again, trying to understand this Bhajya Shaucham from in the light of what Patanjali is mentioning, he speaks about Swanga Jugupsa and Paraihi Asamsargaha. This is a wonderful direction given by Patanjali to really construe what is Shaucham here. Well, let me tell you here that those who are meticulously observing the Shaucham in the sense it is understood in the world, that is cleanliness and hygiene, such people develop not Swanga Jugupsa but Swanga Lobha. And they start developing Paranga Jugupsa. See, Jugupsa means disgust. Now those who are clean, in the sense we understand in the worldly sense of the term, if you are a very clean person, you not only think that you are clean, but you also start thinking, because it is human mind, you think that others are dirty, others are unclean, or perhaps even dirty. So you start developing disgust for the body of others. Because your body is clean, you start developing disgust for the bodies of others, and from your point of view, you think they are not clean or they are dirty. So you start developing Paranga Jugupsa. You don't develop Swanga Jugupsa, you develop Paranga Jugupsa. If you consider the cleanliness in the sense it is understood in worldly sense of the term. But Patanjali is mentioning something bang opposite. Instead of Paranga Jugupsa, he says Swanga Jugupsa. That you develop disgust for your own body. Now this is strange to understand. If you understand in the worldly sense, when you are clean, when you are taken bath, you distance yourself from dirty things and dirty people. Why? Because you have disgust for them. You have disgust, you get jugupsa for other things which are not clean or dirty, and other people who are not clean or dirty. So Paranga Jugupsa comes up. And while Patanjali says it is Swanga Jugupsa, and anyway Parehi Asamsarga, now that happens even in the sense of worldly sense of the term of Shaucham, that you try to dissociate yourself, you start distancing yourself. If you are immaculately clean, you want to distance yourself, which you think is not clean or which you think it is dirty. You don't go closer to it. You distance yourself. You don't want samsargam with those. So this distancing factor happens even in Shaucham, which is of worldly sense. Now why does it happen? Because there is disgust for those things and those people, because you dub them as dirty, and therefore there is asamsarga. But Patanjali also speaks of asamsarga not because of that this same reason, it is another reason. The reason is because there is disgust for one's own body, practitioner of yoga will start distancing from other people. You don't socialize. You don't go closer to people. Why? So this also can be explained in with a kind of analogy. See, if you are dirty, if you are not taken your bath and you are not clean, you will not allow your people to come close to you. You will say, please, I have not taken my bath, I am not clean. Now, you don't distance yourself from those people because you have disgust for them. You have disgust for you, yourself, and therefore you say, please don't come to me. So you distance yourself. Why do you distance yourself? Because you think you are not clean. And therefore you don't want your people to come closer to you. And you tell them, I have not taken bath, please distance yourself. Now there is no hate for the other person. But yet you distance. So when you are distancing from other people, it doesn't necessarily mean that there has to be hate, detest, hatred for the other people. Even without having those, as a matter of fact, you have love and affection for those people, therefore you request them, please don't come closer to me. I am not clean. I am dirty. So there is no distancing because of disgust. While those who are immaculately clean and think that they are very clean, they have a detest and dislike in distancing with people or distancing from people. So paraihi asamsargaha is of these kinds. One is because you think you are not clean, but they are clean, therefore you don't want them to come closer to you. It's not that you hate them and dislike them. You love them, you like them, but you, for the reason that you feel you are not clean, you want distancing. While these people who are in cleanliness have disgust for other people or the other things, and therefore they distance. So there is a disgust, there is dislike, there is hatred, and that's why the distancing is there. So distancing can take place with two reasons. So I distance from you because I love you, and I distance from you because I dislike you. Now this should be understood to really construe what is paraihi asamsargaha in Patanjali's mention in the topic of Shoucham. So, Swanga Jugupsa, instead of Swanga Lobha, those who are in meticulous hygiene and cleanliness, they will have Swanga Lobha, Swa Anga Lobham, attachment to Swa Anga, attachment to one's own body. There is attachment. When you are clean, you start developing attachment to your body. Oh, I am clean. And then the body fondness comes when you have just come out from bathroom and you have cleaned yourself, washed yourself. So again we see the distinction between the popular concept of cleanliness and Patanjali's concept of cleanliness. And about the cleanliness also, see, if you are wearing clean clothes, you develop disgust for other people whom you think they are dirty or they are not so clean, because you have worn wonderful clean clothes. You don't want the dirt to touch your clothes. So see how our mind behaves. Now, with regards to clothes, if it is a white cloth, it seems to be picking up dirt quickly, which is not true. We think white clothes become quickly dirty. No, white clothes they appear quickly dirty. Color clothes do not appear quickly dirty. It's not that the color clothes slowly become dirty or they pick up dirt slowly and white, super white cloth immediately picks up dirt. No. The stain can be found on a white cloth immediately. The stain on color cloth or thick, thickly colored clothes, you don't see quickly. It takes longer time to identify a spot on colored clothes, which are not lightly colored clothes. So the cloth material is going to collect the dirt. The color doesn't create any basis for discrimination, slow dirting and quick dirting. So when the body is clean, the dirt quickly appears on it. If the body is already dirty, the dirt is going to come in the same pace and it will going to get stuck to your body, but it doesn't appear quickly. So this has to be understood. The dirt appearing quickly and dirt happening quickly. Dirtiness happening quickly, dirtiness appearing quickly. And appearance of dirtiness is not worth considering in understanding cleanliness. So, another thing that those who are clean, such people are little egocentric and egoistic. You can see ahamanyata. You can see that there is that sense of pride. I am clean, don't come close to me. You take care of your body because you are clean in your body. So you also develop that kind of conceit in you because you are clean. So there is ego getting bloated in worldly sense of the term of cleanliness or Shoucham. But here it is Swanga Jugupsa. Now why is the Swanga Jugupsa? It's an interesting factor to be considered. And Adhyatma tells us the body comes from dirt. What does it mean? What is the material behind the body turned out? The body takes a birth. Otherwise the body doesn't come into existence. It has to take birth. How does it take birth? The sperm cell and ovum cell have to come together. Where do you get sperm cell and ovum cell? And then, once the life is conceived, where the life is evolving, it is evolving in the womb of mother. Where is the womb? Which part of the body is womb? What is the substance in the womb in which the life will be there for 9 months? Now that is all unclean matter, obnoxious matter. And see how the body is originating in dirt, in the sense that it comes from sperm cell and ovum cell uniting for the life to be conceived. And then when it is conceived during the gestation period, where does it lie? It lies in the garbage of our body. And it develops in garbage for 9 months. Therefore, once the baby is born, it is immediately washed and cleaned. Because obnoxious matter is stuck to the body of the baby, just born baby. So the body of which you are thinking of cleanliness, the material of it itself is dirt, because you eat the food and the food becomes dirt in your body, and then the same processed food, which is always a dirt, the processed food in the body is always obnoxious, disgustful. But then that turns out your skin, flesh, muscles, bones. So see how the body is turned out. When the food gets into body and when it is rotten, body matter is turned out. So understand difference between body turned out and body matter turned out. Throughout the life, the body matter is turned out. When the food is spoiled in the body, the body matter is turned out. So yogi understand this reality, what the body is, from where has it come, and what is sustaining the body. The dirt is sustaining the body. You might eat clean food, but the clean food has to go in. And if you want to know what the clean food does, you eat the food and go to the wash basin and put your fingers into the mouth and throat and vomit. See what will come out. What will come out? You have eaten bewitching food, but when it comes out, you see that it has become disgusting matter, which is called vomit. Anyway, see the reality behind the cleanliness with reference to body. So yogi knows howsoever I keep it clean, the body is constantly emitting dirt. And you heard about this, that Navadvara Puri, there's a body of 9 gates, and entire body is generating dirt, producing dirt, generating dirt, turning out dirt. That means our body is a garbage. When sweat comes out, it is dirty matter, dirty substance. Whatever comes out from your mouth, dirty. Whatever comes out from your anal mouth, dirty. Whatever comes out from the urinary gate, dirty. Whatever comes from your eyes, eye dirt, ear dirt, nose dirt. Everywhere the dirt is turned out in so many varieties, so many kinds of dirt are turned out by body. So this reality is realized, and that is why there is disgust for one's own body, because of the jnana vijnana. And this is a wonderful description that you get in Adhyatma. Adhyatma gives you 2 kinds of what you call descriptions. One is body is the temple, body is the shrine of Atma. That is one dimension of the body, to be taking jnana vijnana about the body. Other one is body is constantly turning out obnoxious, dirty matter, obnoxious matter, disgusting matter. And materialistic layman doesn't know that this body is dirty. And the body is dirt turner. It is turning out dirt. The good things are made dirty. This is what the body does. It doesn't make dirty things good, it makes good things dirty. This is how the body is. And although this cleanliness and Shoucham is meticulously practiced by yogi, he knows that even if I do that, it is going to turn out dirt in no time, because that's a constant process of it. So the more often I clean it, the more often there is need to be cleaning it. And that is why there is disgust for one's own body. Now with this background, now try to understand why there will be the distancing mind. In the yogi, he tries to distance himself from others. What for? Why for? Not because they are disgusting. There's different reason. After all, they also have a body. They have a body. How do you take your sweat, which comes on your body, and if you get a touch of somebody else's sweat, how disgusting is it? So your sweat which comes on your skin, you don't feel disgusting so much, but somebody's perspiration touches your body. How do you take it? After all, that is his perspiration. Just as you have your perspiration, that person has his perspiration. There are so many dimensions to understand why Parehi Samsargaha is mentioned. Anyway, there is no Paranga Gruna, there is Swanga Gruna, which are opposite conditions. In cleanliness in worldly sense, there is Paranga Gruna. But cleanliness in a yogi, it is Swanga Gruna. This is something which should be pondered over. Paranga Jugupsa, for those who are immaculately clean in material sense of the term, and there is Swanga Jugupsa for a yogi who is perhaps more meticulous in cleanliness. So anyway, it's an interesting topic that we have embarked upon to understand the Shoucham in the light of Adhyatma Shastra Jnana Vijnana. But enough for the time being today. We will proceed on this topic in our next session. Namaskar all of you.